Hello folks, we are coming to the exercise 13.2 and this is our part 1 video, and we will be starting with the concept of derivatives. Derivatives is nothing but the slope of the tangent for any curve, and it's in detail concept. You will be able to see it in the explanation that is given in the textbook. Now, whenever a function is given, every function, more or less all the functions will have its derivatives. So, technically you find the derivative by drawing the curve, then getting the tangent, and then finding out the slope of the tangents is so geometrical. So, it's not possible to do it every now and then, that whenever a curve is given you draw it, and then all that is not possible. So, we go for its algebraic version of finding out the derivative. Now, in finding the algebraic version also, there is something like finding it by first principles. It's like more like lots of work. So first principles, when you have to find, you have to use this kind of a formula, like f dash is what the derivative is. F dash at the point a, that means derivative at the point a, equal to limit as x tends to a, f of x plus h minus f of x by h. This is traditional method of finding the derivatives. Now, as time evolved and when mathematicians started finding out new things, instead of doing this, they started finding out formulae by which you can get the derivative of the said function easily. So, what we will be doing is we will be using these formulae, and we will be getting the derivative directly, except for the cases where in some questions they will say do it by first principles, then only we will do it by this method. So, depending on the question, when the question doesn't specify anything, we take its relevant formula and do the find the derivative. But in cases where they will say that no, you have to do it by first principles, we use this idea and we will find it. So that's how it is. That's how our approach is going to be. And again, like how I was telling yesterday, it's very, very important from the 12th standard point of view. 12th standard, one important part of the entire math syllabus is what is called as calculus, and calculus has different things to deal with: continuity, derivatives, integration, then differential equations. So this is one of the components in that calculus. So like that, and another thing is that when we take up the 12th standard portion, calculus is important, and it is carrying a certain number of marks there, but there is no demarcation that this chapter will carry so much. Anything can be important there. So like that, because of all that, this chapter assumes lots of importance, because you have to be clear here. Then next year's work becomes simpler. So that's all about all this. Let's proceed and let's see how we can go about this. Just look at the function and the derivative. Any function which is of the type x raised to n polynomial has got its derivative as nx raised to n minus 1. A sin x function has a derivative cos x. Cos x has a derivative minus sin x. Tan x has sec squared x. There are others also. So as time comes, I will introduce more. Maybe we'll keep this column like that. Whenever we want, we can introduce over here. And this is by first principle, whenever they ask us to. So we will start doing it right away, then only you will be able to know what the thing is all about, and that way we will get the answer. Now they have told us that the function f of x is x squared minus 2, and they ask us to find the derivative of this function. So finding out the derivative of this means it's the derivative of the whole thing, and derivative, luckily for us, it will be individualized like this. So derivative of x square and derivative of 2, and derivative of any constant number is 0. That's what we have written here. A is a constant number. Any number will be 0. So like that, the derivative of 2 will be 0, and x squared, like it's of the type x raised to n, and x raised to n has a derivative nx raised to n minus 1, which means x squared will become what by formula 2x raised to 2 minus 1, which means it will become 2x. So this will become 2x. Overall the derivative will be 2x. But that's not what they have asked us. They have asked us to find it at 10. That means they have asked us f dash at 10. So x comes, there you put 10. So your answer will become 20. It's only that much. We apply the relevant formula and we'll try to get what the answer is like. That's about it. Then we are coming to the next question, which is 99x at x equal to 100. So they have not given us a function, so let f of x be equal to 99x. So if that is the case, we will have f dash x is the derivative of 99x. Now always, like we saw in the limit, this constant, they'll just move out. Okay, so the constant will move out, and it is for us to find only the derivative of x. X means it's x raised to 1. So what will be the derivative? N x raised to n minus 1. So 1 into x raised to 0 actually. That's 1 only. So the derivative will come only to 1. Final answer 99. So no matter whatever be the value, answer is going to be 99 because no x there, no. Only when x is there, there is a chance of substituting x. When there is nothing, you have to just write it directly, and then we come to the next question. It says that f of x is x. So let, I don't know whether it's given in the question, so let f of x be x. So this already we have found out, but maybe we can do it once again. So f dash x will be derivative of x, and that will be n x raised to n minus 1. That means it is n for us 1, x raised to n minus 1. So that is 1 into x raised to 0, which is, this is 1, 1 into 1, 1. And at 1 they have asked us. So f dash at 1 doesn't matter. Why? Because every time there's no x, no, where to substitute. So it's going to be 1 itself. Now from question number 4 onwards, it is to be shown by first principle. So we are taking the first principles and I am doing it. The first function is x cube minus 27. You have to find out the derivative of this by using first principles. So first let's take the function. Let f of x be equal to f of x be equal to x cube minus 27. Now always our next step is f of x plus h. Just check. You should get f of x, you should also get f of x plus h. Then only you are able to do the work. So always in the first principles, we are going to take the next is f of x plus h. What is the meaning of f of x plus h? Wherever x is coming, then we should substitute x plus h. So here, because x is here, the x is replaced by x plus h. Now open it up. X cube plus 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cube minus 27. Then therefore f of x plus h minus f of x. How much will come? Minus f of x. So x cube minus 27. So it's like x cube plus 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cube minus 27 minus x cube plus 27. So you're getting these remaining things. Now our next step is to get that by h. Can you see the by h here? So f of x plus h minus f of x by h. So what are the leftover term? 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cube by h. So we can glaringly see that there is an h common. Let's take it out. So it's like 3x squared for the first term, and for the next term it is 3xh because you have taken one h out, and then it is h squared because you have taken the one h out. These can cancel. So we will have therefore f dash at x we can take. Why? No, because they have not specified as the point, isn't it? So by definition it will be limit as h goes to 0 f of, oh, I think that's not right on my side. Yeah, I have made a small mistake. There's no need to write it as then I should write a plus h and all that. Okay, no problem. Let's not write it as x, let's write it as a plus h and a. Then it's okay, like depends. So here we'll have limit and that's not x, yeah. Oh, okay, let's restructure it so that by because this definition